First of all, you shouldn't even worry about when I'm starting or anything like that. Because you're going to just sit and talk to me like you and I normally talk, like this, okay? And it's going to take some time just to forget about the camera and forget about lots of things, okay?
But when I talk, it goes in there.
Yeah, but you're talking to me, and that's all that's important. Okay? But forget about the camera, okay? How are you feeling? Do you feel funny in front of the camera?
I feel silly.
Why?
I never done this before.
Yeah, but you're famous now. Okay.
I'm gay.
Okay. First of all, you should remember that we should talk like you told me all the things before about details and
You
things like that.
probably remember them more than I.
Well, I have a lot of things I can ask you. So the important thing is that you're going to just sit and tell me stories. All right? You tell me details. You tell me everything you want to tell me. Anything you ever want to tell me. Okay?
Where should I start?
You should start with when you were born. What date? When were you born? And where? And what your parents' names were.
No, I was born in a Bukhara.
In a Bukhara.
I don't think it's on the map.
Why? Where is it, Rella?
It was not far from Kiev.
Uh-huh.
Kiev is a large city.
Uh-huh.
And my father, I don't remember, he died when I was very little.
What was his name?
Cashel.
Heschel. His last name was
It was Radutsky.
Radutsky. Okay.
That's why my name is,
Right.
my brother's names.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers are Radutsky.
Right.
And I'm the sister.
Right.
So I'm a Radutsky.
Right.
Now,
Right.
what do you like to know more?
How come you never met him? What happened? What day were you born?
They say 1900.
On what day? January 25th?
25th.
And how come you don't know exactly when? Because didn't they record it?
Well, even you're born in a small place,
Uh-huh.
they have certain things. They don't have the things that they have more
Mm-hmm.
in the larger cities.
Right. How many people do you think lived in a Bukhara when you were there?
I really wouldn't know.
Like, was it small? Like,
It was small, but was a large place.
did they have horses and things there?
Oh, sure.
Really?
There are a lot of Gentile people.
Uh-huh.
And the Gentile people were nice, accordingly. Yeah, like my mother was a nice lady, of course.
Right. What did she do?
Well, when my father died, she had a large store, not a store like you come and you buy bread, but she had a store like you have to feed the horses, cows, in quantities. Like every sack of certain things was 5 pounds.
So she saw.
Years different. So she was capable to sell. She was a lady of all kinds of qualities.
Uh-huh. What was her name?
Malka.
Malka.
Your mother is named after her.
Right.
But they couldn't pronounce Malka. In America, you don't say Malka.
Uh-huh.
So she called herself, some people used to call her Molly. But she liked Maryland. So the Maryland was Maryland.
So what did they call her in Russia?
My mother?
Yeah.
Malka.
Malka. And how old was she when she? How much older was she than you?
My mother?
Yeah.
I don't know.
About.
I was the last one.
You were the last one out of all your kids.
My brother, I had 3 brothers.
Right.
And we were 3 sisters.
Right. She sold all these large bushels.
I mean, my
food.
brother used
Yeah.
to help her.
Uh-huh.
He was the oldest.
What was his name?
Nathan.
Nathan. Oh.
Nathan Radutsky, the one that has the factory of the house.
Right. They used to have.
Well, he's not here.
Right.
I had a brother, Harry.
Uh-huh.
Nathan
Nathan,
and Irving
Irving,
and Tilly.
Tilly.
No, not Tilly was after Chava.
Okay, so wait, let's start. Who was the oldest? Was Nathan,
Nathan.
and then
And then it must have been my sister Chava.
Chava,
And then it was Yitzchok, we call him.
Yitzhak, but that was,
That's
what's his name in English?
Irving.
Irving,
And Max.
Max,
And I came.
and you, but that's only 5, right?
5. Another one was a little child boy. I can't even remember because I was too young.
Where is he?
I think he died.
You think so? You don't remember that? So, what was it like living in Avakov? What did you do there? Do you remember?
Well, I was too young to know what's what.
Well, you left a book of how old were you? About.
Well, when I left, we had a pogrom.
Right, but before that,
Before that, I went to school.
where did you go to school? Do you remember the name?
I forgot the name.
You forgot the name. What
I
kind of
remember the teacher's name was Malamed.
Malaman? Doesn't
Yeah.
sound like. Was it a Jewish school?
No,
It was a
Not
Gentile school.
it was he was teaching.
It was a
Russian.
state-run school.
Russian.
Russian.
No, there was a school, but I didn't go there. It was too far to go.
Uh-huh. And you learned what language did they teach you in?
Russian.
In Russian. And you learned Russian.
Well, I wanted to. My mother wanted me to learn Hebrew,
Uh-huh.
so I had a special teacher coming to the house to teach.
Do you remember the teacher's name? So it was like a special tutor, like a mentor,
No,
person.
a person that knows how to speak Hebrew.
What did your house look like? Did you move after your father died? Did your father die when you were born or before you were born?
How could he?
He could have died while your mother was pregnant. I mean,
No. I remember when they took him to the cemetery, and I didn't go. They didn't take me, whatever. So I must have been very small. I don't even remember when he died.
What did he do? Do you know anything about him at all?
Well, my grandfather wanted to come to America too. We lived in a Buchel, in a large house, like it was two parts. One part we lived and the other part my grandfather. The grandfather went to America with the children.
With everyone except you?
Except me, I was too little, and I remained there with my mother.
Everyone went. All the little,
Yeah.
all your brothers and
And
sisters.
my brothers.
And then, so he left. When did they leave? When did they get here? Like about.
I think 1906.
So you were very little.
And then my mother got remarried,
Uh-huh.
and we moved to his house. It was a nice house.
Whose house? To
To her husband.
wait. She got remarried.
She remarried, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Who did she remarry?
A man.
Do you remember him?
I remember him, but
Remember his name?
yeah,
What was his name?
Levitzchok.
What is it?
I leave him out.
No, no. Why? Why should we leave him out?
She died before him.
Right. I know that. What did she do? Well, you told me about her death later, but what was he? Did you like him or not like him?
I was young to understand.
What did he do? Do you remember who he was?
Well, he used to handle big things, like he used to make a nice lady. Anyway, let's skip that.
Why do you want to skip that? I don't know. How long was that?
Well, then there was a pogrom.
Wait. All right, we'll get to that. You don't want to talk. All right. What about what else happened? What was your neighborhood like? Did you have friends and things? Do you
Yeah, we had friends.
Do you remember any of your friends from Russia?
So many years.
It's so many.
You get.
I can't even. Manya.
There were a lot of friends, but I forgot their name.
Were a lot of people going to the United States? Or
No,
the,
then from Bukhara,
okay, wait.
I
We'll
went
get.
to Kiev.
Okay, wait. We'll get to that. Was that after or before the pogrom you're talking about?
The pogrom was before and after. We had a couple of pogroms.
Right.
But my mother sent me to Kiev. I was 12 years and I don't remember.
Why did she send you there?
To visit with her sister had girls and boys, whatever, children. Anyway, that's the pogrom. And there was you know what a pogrom is?
Tell me about.
A pogrom were the rotten people. I don't know that kind those people. They were just either Bolshevik, I don't remember who they were. They came in, with revolvers. And they don't look at who you are, they just chase you out of the houses.
Did they do that to you? Do you remember?
I wasn't here, but they did it. My mother came, and my mother and her husband, we came to Kiev. And then it was a problem of getting apartments.
So wait, she sent you to Kiev
No,
before the
she
pogrom?
sent me before, that's why I avoided it. She sent me like a guest to visit her sister.
What was her sister's name?
Her sister's name was,
This is your aunt, right?
I forgot.
You'll come back. You have a lot of names in your head for 89 years.
But my mother was a good lady.
Tell me more about her. Avi,
She was a
were you close with her?
yeah, very close. I was the only kid that remained with her. Then I got a little older already.
Right. So you liked her?
I remember that she was very good natured, and she was hospitable, and she liked to do favors. I remember there was an old lady, and she didn't want no charity, so she gave her money, and she opened up a little store. And people used to come and would buy things from her. She wanted to be on her own, and my mother helped her out. And I remember she was doing things for poor people. She was very charitable lady. She was a good lady.
She made good money though. Was she comfortable to take care of you from the store that she sold?
No, she didn't sell the store.
Well, no, she used to sell things at the animal stores. Selling food and things. Big bet.
No, then they gave up. When she got married, she left that house.
She got married the second time.
Yes, second time. My father, I don't remember. My father, they say, was going to America. And he wasn't able to, you had to cross, they call it a Greenwich.
What's a Greenwich?
A Greenwich is a body of water. Like this side is the Bolsheviks, this side is Kiev, and the other side is a different state.
So where would he would have had to go from Kiev to somewhere?
To Kiev. So Kiev is a big city.
Right.
A nice city. And Kiev, there's more...
But you say he would have had to cross the Greenwich.
yeah, and he wasn't able to. I don't know, they caught him. There's always two sides when you have to cross they call it a Greenwich.
Right.
Like it's a body of water, like one state with another state. So
Right.
The water separates.
Like a border.
Yeah.
And wait, so you say you think that's how you're?
No, I won't tell you about my father.
Right.
So when he came back with heart trouble, and he died.
Okay. So do you remember him leaving and then coming back?
No.
Oh.
I don't remember, but my mother, the kids, my three brothers. Max wasn't even Max. You know Malcolm.
So I was named after him. Right.
He was...
Michael.
Merch, yeah.
Right. Okay. That's my Hebrew name.
That's right.
So, all right.
Well, anyway, in Kiev.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Kiev. I avoided the pogrom because I was there before. My mother sent me to her sister when they had daughters.
Right.
So we always
Do you think-
met them.
Did she send you because she knew there were pogroms? Or
No.
She sent. How come
She sent me, I don't know, just
to visit?
to get to visit.
How long were you going to go for?
I don't remember that. The main thing is that while I was there was a pogrom. You know what a pogrom is?
Yes. Well, you'll tell me more. But where was the pogrom? In Kiev or in Bukhov?
In Bukhov.
Uh-huh.
But it spread all over.
And how do you remember seeing it? What do you remember from?
I remember when I was going with my mother.
She was in Kiev, or?
This was yet in Bukhov, and they pointed a revolver. Why do we go away? Run away. They were chasing us. Here they were angry because we went away from the house.
Right.
Oh,
No, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about that.
And then I
This is
went
very-
to Europe.
Wait, we'll get to that later.
No, then I went to, I'm still in Kiev.
Right.
And then there was a pogrom that, was the second pogrom already. And they came to the Bukhov, and they chased out all the Jewish people. Not only they killed a couple of people, and some people were able to get away with the horse and wagon at that time to Kiev. Kiev is a big city, and it's it's a nice city. Kiev is like Kiev.
Like what?
Almost like Kiev.
Where is Kiev?
Kiev. There's Kiev.
What
No,
was
but
that?
Kiev is a big city.
Kiev? What's
Kiev.
that? Where's that?
In
That-
Russia.
Yeah.
I
So
don't-
what's it? It was big. Do you?
There was no pogrom.
Uh-huh.
So the people, you go away with a big city, you could hide. They chased them out, so they had to leave.
Right. How did they know you were Jewish in the Bukhov?
You could tell.
How come?
I can't because the Jewish people live different and the Goyim live different.
Like what was
They
different?
were different. The Gentile people, they have earth of grass and everything, and cows and horses. And the Jewish people, they have little stores. They're not like they.
So what was? You mean they were more business people than
It's business
farmers?
people that farm. The others were really farmers,
Uh-huh.
but some of them were nice. And so we used to run away from the house, and we used to run to Mama knew somebody that they liked her, so we went there and they were hiding us from the bad people that they used to call them Zelyonce.
What's that mean?
The name, it was a party of people that they give themselves a name.
Uh-huh. Like a political party.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Ku Klux Klan or something.
Yeah, that's right. And then they go to, who do you kill a Jew? And they wiped out the Jews.
So did
So they didn't kill too many people. But everybody left the Bukhov. I don't know where they were. But my mother came already to Kiev. And then when we came to Kiev, we haven't got an apartment. So we had to live. They gave us a room. And my uncle, my mother's brother, gave us a room. He gave up his room to my mother, and I used to call him uncle.
Well, do you remember his first name?
My
Yeah.
Shulam Yankiv.
Shalom Yankov. Now he was married to your aunt, but you don't. Do you remember?
No.
No?
Shulam Yankiv.
Uh-huh.
Shulam Yankiv was a brother to my mother, but he's not married to my
Oh. He was directly related. He was really.
the good brother.
Uh-huh. Do you remember your grandparents at all? Were they alive?
Well, when I came to America, I had my grandfather here,
Really? What was his name?
Avrom.
I never heard about him. What did he do in Russia? Do you remember him in Russia, or he left when you were so little?
I was little when they. No, he left with all the children.
Right.
The children were Nathan
Right.
and
Nathan,
Nathan,
Chava,
Chava. Chava was married already.
right? But we'll get to her. Tilly, Max,
And Max. And
you. Right. But how many
Max-
were there? How many
Max-
brothers and sisters were there?
Well, I had two sisters
Two sisters.
and
Chava
three
and Tilly.
brothers.
Chava and Tilly.
Chava,
Right.
Tilly,
Max. Nathan,
no,
and
the
Irving.
sisters, so
Right.
Harvey, Tilly,
Mhm.
Tilly and I.
Right.
So the three.
Three.
And Nathan and Irving
Right.
and
And
Itzik. They used to call him Itzik.
no, and Max. And
No,
Max.
Max was the younger.
Right.
Max was bar mitzvah on the ship and they were going to America. He
Really?
was 13 years old.
Really? Were you upset that they left without you?
I was too little to understand. So I was a young girl that it was a, what kind of a life was it?
I
You're
don't know.
afraid we used to hide ourselves in the bakeries, whatever it is, and there was a lot of trouble. Everybody used to come to Kiev from Odessa, from all kinds of.
Where else?
And they used to come to Kiev, and the Polacks, so they come where they could kill Jews.
They came to Kiev because it was easy to hide,
It wasn't easy.
but it was.
It was when I remember when I lived in my uncle's. I still lived there, and they were, and there they had big apartments, and then they have like a how do you call it? A door.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a door.
A trap door?
No, doors that you could lock, and they were like iron.
Like a, okay.
Yeah, so you couldn't get in, and you couldn't if you opened it. And they used to, we used to hide from the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why.
Where was that?
In Kiev,
And wait, that was your uncle
Uncle Sholem Yankel.
from Yankiv. Now he. Right.
Sholem Yankel.
When your mother came to see you in Kiev, remember you said she came. You went to visit.
Then that's the time they all came. I was alone there. She sent me to her sister.
Did you have all of your possessions with you? Like she left. Did she leave the house there and all?
Well, then let me finish it.
Uh-huh.
They ran away from Abucho. They practically ran away. They left things. They didn't bring everything because they had to be in a hurry.
Uh-huh.
And that's the way it
So
was.
she lost all the house and the store and everything.
Whatever it was. And then she came there, so he was my uncle, her husband, and then he.
Her husband? Wait, what? Say that?
She remarried.
Right.
They went to America. My mother remarried, and I remained with her.
Right.
The rest went away. Chava
Right.
was married. She had a baby.
Right. Did they leave before you went to Kiev or after you went to Kiev?
Well, I was in Kiev before. I didn't witness
Them leaving?
the girl.
Oh, right.
Chava got married. It was I realized that Chava was married. They went to Florida.
It's a good trip. Where did they go? For the honeymoon? You don't know.
For honeymoon. Who knows no honeymoon?
Well, where do people go on vacation?
There were Carlsbad, there were places. We weren't so rich that I should remember, but we were very comfortable.
Uh-huh.
And my mother was a nice lady.
Uh-huh.
She was loved by everybody.
Yeah.
And what else do I tell you?
Told me a lot.
And then,
I just want to get this organized. What happened? First, when you were born, you lived in Abacho, and then you went to. When did your brothers and sisters leave with your grandfather? Before you went to Kiev? Did you or while you were in Kiev?
no, they left. It was like giving up a home.
Mm-hmm.
My mother gave up the home, and my Zayda, my grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
brought me, came to America. So he came to America with all the children. He had a brother here.
Mm-hmm.
His name was also Radotsky.
What was his name?
Radotsky, Avrom.
Avram. That was your grandfather.
Yeah.
What was his brother's name?
I don't remember.
Uh-huh. How come everybody was coming to the United States?
Because my father wanted to go to the United States too, so but he couldn't pass the whatever it is, they call it a Greenwich. It's like a body of water.
Right.
And,
Right. You told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he couldn't. So he came home and he got heart trouble.
Mm-hmm.
because he was running. I was too young to understand.
Right, but
And he came home, he got sick, and he died.
right now they left, and then you lived in
I lived
Abalkov,
with my mother.
right? And then you went to Kiev, and
And
then
then,
she met you in Kiev.
Yeah. Then when the kids went to America, my mother got married to this man.
Right.
And she came into a nice home and everything was
Right.
nice.
Because he had money.
Yeah. I don't know about the money part, but anyway, it was my mother was a wonderful person.
So tell me about what was life in Kiev like. It was different than in
Well,
Abalkov.
You know, you go to, I don't know whether I went to school there or not, I don't remember.
How old were you? About 12, you said?
About 12 or so. I understood everything.
It's incredible you remember that. It's unbelievable.
Well, there are a lot of things that I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you do
Yeah,
remember.
but I know that the children,
Mhm.
then I went to Rovno, then I went to, I was working,
Hmm.
then I went to, wait a minute, where was it? Then my mother died.
Well, tell me about that also. Well,
My mother died.
before she died, tell me about what you remember. You said there were pogroms in Kiev also?
Yeah, the pogroms, because people that ran away from the small
Right.
small
Do,
places.
do you remember hiding it all?
Yeah, that's what I was
tell
telling
me
you.
about
We were
how-
hiding in a place where they had those doors, the
Steel doors?
steel doors
Where was that?
in Kiev. And everybody that lived in, it was large buildings, like here, you don't see it like that.
Right.
And the people that lived there, they were afraid of the bandits. There was a Petlurtse.
What's that?
They gave themselves names, and they, I forgot the names. They were no good. Even the Polacks,
Uh-huh.
the Polacks were fighting too with the Russians.
What do you mean?
They were fighting with the Polish people.
Hmm.
Were fighting the Russian people
In Kiev?
in Kiev, sure. So then the Polish people came to Russia, and as far as I remember, it was no good. Anyway,
What do you remember about hiding? Like, what did you think about? What did you feel like when you were hiding?
how good would you feel? You're scared.
Yeah.
And then we settled in Kiev. First we had to go to my uncle, he gave us a room, we lived there. And then my mother, got sick. There was typhoid fever, it was in America too that time. And she had a cousin, a cousin, a real cousin, and she had a lot of children. And that time the typhoid fever was going around, with the typhoid. And
What? Did friends of yours get typhoid?
so my mother went to bring them food.
Right.
In a cold day, they used to wear Valinkas, certain shoes that they used to wear them in New York, here too, but not like that.
What are they? What are Valinga?
It's a
Tall boots?
yeah, boots like a cloth, and it's made out of a cloth. And she went there, and somebody was sick with the typhoid fever, and she came back the same night. She lay down, and the next Friday, a whole week, she was gone. And I was with her from the day she got sick. You say you catch from somebody. I was laying on her feet, put a chair down where she was laying, that I should know whether she's up or not. Nothing happened to me.
How was she during that week? Did she know she was going to die?
I don't know. I was too little. Not too little, but I probably didn't understand. I understood I lost my mother. Nobody was able to talk to me.
So,
I used to sit and cry, and that's all I did. More? Should I tell you more?
yeah, this is good. It's interesting.
Well, then I used
Tell me more about she died. What happened when she died? Like, were you there when she died?
That's what I'm telling you. I was there to the last minute when she died. And I even laid on her feet in case she wakes up or something. I should be there. We had a nurse to her at that time. And then she died, and I still remained living there by my uncle. He gave us a room.
What do you mean us? Well, he gave you and your mother.
My mother.
Where was
This was Kiev.
where was your stepfather? The woman.
The stepfather and my mother. But then my mother died.
Yeah.
We took an apartment.
Who's away? You and your stepfather?
The stepfather, and he had a stepson. And
You took an apartment somewhere?
yeah, it was very hard to get apartments. Whatever it was, but we were in the apartment. And then I wanted to come to America. I wrote a letter to the Hayas. You know what a Hayas is?
What's the higher?
Hayas is that they used to not work for the people, but they used to help out people coming to America.
Uh-huh.
So they used to call it Hayas.
For Jewish people?
Yeah, there's still a Hayas.
Uh-huh.
And they weren't making passports to America. They were making to Cuba, to Argentina. And what will I go to Cuba? No, so then we had to go to Rovno, we call it. It's still Russia, but we had to. It was between Russia and the.
Well, before you get into your whole trip, I have a map I can show. You can like show me where you went. No.
Able to see.
You'll be able to. You'll use a magnifying. Before we get back, we go to that. I want to talk more about Russia because nobody knows anything about Russia.
But Russia is like they're nice people. They're nice Jewish, Gentile people, and they're really not nice people. You know that.
What did when you started to grow up? What did you think you were going to do? Did you think you were going to come to the United States, or did you, like before your mother got sick? Did you think you'd stay in Russia your whole life?
Yeah, no, we thought we'd go to Russia, to America. So we had to wait and wait and wait, and there was no end to it. And then that's our mother got sick, and she died. That's why I remained
With
alone.
typhoid. What happens when you get typhoid? What happened to her?
She died. She died.
What did you get? Did you get fever and stuff? I don't remember. I don't know what happened.
Typhoid fever is a very dangerous thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I was on the top of her all the time.
And you didn't get it.
And I didn't get it. So
you're lucky.
well anyway.
About the pogroms, what do you remember? What else do you remember? Anything else? Like you said, they pulled a revolver on you and your mother when you were leaving the
I was
Buffalo.
still in the Buchel when the Bolsheviks came in. They come in.
The Bolsheviks, huh?
Bolsheviks.
Right, Bolsheviks.
And I was running. My mother had me, so she ran with me there. Mm-hmm. You run away, you figure you don't know where you run. Mm-hmm. So they stopped us with the revolver. Mm-hmm. Why are you running away?
Right.
Will you talk to them?
Did your mother talk to them? Did she?
I suppose.
Well, she must have done something. You didn't get arrested or anything.
No, they didn't arrest anybody. They were just going to kill people. Mm-hmm. But we were lucky.
Did they hate? Is it because they hated the Jews?
I suppose. Who likes the Jews?
Well, because I don't know. Maybe they were. What was it? They were unemployed, and there was not enough money, and they thought Jews had.
No. The pogrom is something that you find a person like. What happened in Germany?
Tell me.
Hitler.
Yeah, but tell me what.
You know what Hitler was.
Right. Why do you think they had a pogrom in Russia?
Why do you think that they had a pogrom in Hitler?
Well, they had a leader there, but
so there was a leader.
Who was the leader in Russia?
Klutze. They called it the Klutze, Zilionze. Now, this is all these...
what are those names? Those are the groups, the political groups?
Groups, and the groups, and they're all from the Gentile people. And who do you kill? A Jew. So they were after the Jews. That time, I remember, they killed someone from our relatives, one person that we knew very much. His sister was here in America. But anyway.
Wait, who's that? What is that?
You don't know those people.
Well, what is that?
This was we were relatives. I don't know how, but a young man was killed. A nice man, a fellow, wasn't even married, and his sister was in America.
How did you know him? How did you know him?
Well, we were like relatives, so you find out about him.
And how was he killed?
Do you know how they kill people?
Did they shoot him?
I suppose.
How did you find out about it? How did you know about it?
Because they were going around the houses and killing. Like I ran away with my mother,
Uh-huh.
and yet why are you running away? And they want to kill us. So luckily they didn't kill us. And then my mother got sick. I told you
Right.
got sick, so
Right. What?
I wanted to come to America.
So you before she got sick though, you thought you were still hoping to come to the United States?
Sure,
When your
my
parents.
mother too,
Right.
but it wasn't easy.
When your grandfather left with the kids, why didn't he take you and your mother?
Well, they thought my mother will get married, then we'll come to America.
Why? Because your father had died already before the kids
Of
left?
course, the father died.
He died while Ava and everybody was in Russia?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So he was the first one to try to leave to go to the United
No,
States?
he tried, but it didn't.
Right.
So then he came back and he died from heart trouble.
And then your grandfather took everybody?
And then the grandfather had a brother here.
Right, you told
So
me.
that's why he
Right.
took the whole family.
Right.
And I was too little or whatever it is, so I didn't remain with my mother.
Right.
And when my mother got married, and then, so anyway, she was in a Bochum, but when they killed the people there, they chased them out of the city.
How long were you in Kiev before she came?
I don't remember that.
Was
I
it-
don't remember that.
Was it a year though, or was it like a few weeks,
In a few months, I think.
a few months?
You know, she wanted me to have a little diversion.
Right.
So Kiev was a big city,
Mhm.
so I was with my cousins.
Mhm.
They died anyway already.
What did they die from?
I don't know. One was here named Isaac. He lived and years ago I used to visit him. He lived on Ostend Avenue. You know where Ostend Avenue is?
I heard of it. Where is that? What borough?
This in Ostend Avenue was in
The Bronx or Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn,
Right,
sure.
it's in Brooklyn.
And then they moved to California,
Yeah?
and he got sick and he died there.
But he was with you in Kiev?
He was, and he wasn't. I don't know what it was with him there.
Mhm.
But anyway, when we're going to stop,
Whenever we feel like it. We're doing great.
so, oh, you're doing great?
Yeah.
You want to leave everything like this?
Yeah,
and we
of
go
course.
to eat?
In a few minutes, let's
Now, what else do you want to know? Then when I came to America,
so wait, before you came to America, so in Russia you spoke Russian?
yeah, before I came to America, I wasn't easy to make a passport to come to America.
Right.
And I didn't know what to do
From Kiev.
from Kiev. Yes.
So you spoke to the Hayas.
You spoke to them, you know, they were so busy.
Were you getting mail from the United States?
No, the time was no mail either. But I put in a letter or something in the forwards.
What's that?
The forwards is a paper. And I don't know, they have a certain paper there in Russia. I don't remember that. But I wrote that I'm Rose Sanders.
Did you write Rose Sanders?
No, I wasn't married.
What did you write?
I wrote Rose Radotsky.
Rose though? Was your name?
Rosa Radotskaya.
Uh-huh.
So my family is in America.
Mhm.
And Nathan,
Mhm.
you know what Nathan was?
Yeah, he was your oldest brother.
His brother. So Nathan was reading the paper, and he understood that Mama is dead because I mentioned my name that I'm looking.
Uh-huh.
So he knew that my mother is there. He surmised it, I suppose.
Uh-huh.
And then I started working. I should get a passport to America.
You started work. Were you working ever? What were you doing
I
every
wasn't
day?
working that time.
Well, what did you do when your mother died? Did you start to work, or
No, I didn't work, but
your stepfather took care of you financially?
yeah, I was with him. He had a son. He wanted me to marry him. He was a nice man, but my mother was always wanted to do business.
What do you mean?
Business lady.
What do you mean?
She ran the store when we were before. Anyway, this is not important.
No, it's important.
Well, the important is
It's important. I
that
want to know.
when I came to America, I had a hard time
Well, you tell me all about that, but we're not there yet. We're still in Russia. Why don't you want to tell me about?
In Russia,
Yeah.
there's nothing to tell.
It's very
Listen,
interesting.
I was young yet,
Mhm.
and not only was I young, you can penetrate all those things.
It's coming back though. You told me a lot more today than you told me last time.
Well, we're sitting and talking, so you asked me questions, so I start thinking of it. But I remember I was with my mother. I was close with my mother
Mhm.
because I was only a young child.
Was your mother educated in Russia also?
Well, she was educated in Hebrew more, Hebrew, but she knew.
Was the Jewish community very closely knit? Were they very?
Well, it's never knit, closely knit. In a Jewish community, in a small place, in a large place like Kiev, you don't know what's doing in the next, like in America.
Mhm.
But this was a small, everybody knew what somebody else's business.
In a Bukhov.
The Bukhov, I mean. My mother knew who has no bread, so
Mhm.
she used to go and bring them bread or whatever it is to help other poor people.
Mhm.
She was always say,
Did you help her at all?
I wasn't young yet, to go to school.
Mhm. What do you remember about school?
Went to school. We had they called it cheater, like fourth class school,
Mhm.
but I had to walk too far,
Mhm.
so my mother wouldn't let me. So we had a teacher that he had children, and they used to teach me. He was a real teacher, not a.
So it wasn't a real school then.
Well, it was. He made a school of it,
How many kids were there?
Who knows? I
Like, were there 10 or
Oh
100?
yes, sure. Not 100, but more than 10.
Uh-huh.
And he had made it with regular school.
And it was in Hebrew?
No, not in Hebrew.
In Russian?
In the Russian. Hebrew is a different.
Was the private person? that
Yeah,
gave it?
Hebrew. I know. I was learning Hebrew.
Was it Hebrew or Yiddish?
No, Yiddish is different. Than Yiddish is different.
Right,
than
but how
Hebrew.
did you?
Well, Yiddish, you talk Yiddish, so you understand Yiddish.
Who talked Yiddish?
We were talking Yiddish.
So you learned Yiddish
Yiddish, but
by
Hebrew,
talking?
Yeah, but Hebrew, you have to go to a teacher.
Right.
Because, that.
Right. I did that also.
In English is already, why are you looking there?
I want to make sure that it's still running.
Oh, does it stop by itself?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what else do you want to know?
So you went to school there?
I went to school, but then when I came to America, I went to a night school.
Mhm.
In the night school, I lived in
Well,
I lived in Nathan's house.
right. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's stay in Russia still, since there's lots to
Son
tell.
of Russia.
Why is it not Russia? A lot about Russia. It's coming back to you, a lot of things.
Yeah, you know something?
Why?
I'm not interested no more in it.
Why?
What have I got that will be? I
Well,
don't
it's where my
have no-
history is. When people say to me, where did my grandparents come from? I say Russia. It's like,
Where
that's where I would have been if you didn't come here. It's the only place that's where my heritage is. I'm not from I'm from the United States, but I'm original.
Your heritage is
Years and years and years. How many generations of family lived in Russia before they came here?
Where?
There were a lot of people. I mean, your great-grandparents and my great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. And right, we were always in Russia, right? Your family?
Not you.
No, but your family was always in
My
Russia.
family came from Russia.
Right, so imagine how long they've been there.
Well, they were born there.
Right, all of them. Right. Do you remember your grandmother at all?
Not my grandmother, but I remember my grandfather. very
Right.
well. Because
Avram.
My grandfather was Avram.
What do you remember about him
About him
in Russia?
in the Russia, I don't remember.
Right,
because they went to America.
How did you communicate with the people while you were in Kiev when your
I
mother?
guess I wrote letters.
And that you could get them out of the country. You could send them.
Yeah.
And then you wrote in this paper.
The mere fact is that I wrote into the paper whatever it is, the Hayas. There used to be a Hayas there too,
Uh-huh.
near the wake up. And so that's how I put it in the papers, that I am looking for Radetzky
Right.
in America.
Right.
Nathan read it for us, and but the way I wrote, not Mama, not my mother, Malta,
Right,
I put in
right.
the name,
And he
so he
realized.
understood that she died.
Did you make plans with them? They never told you what to do, how to communicate? Like when they left, you were very little.
Little. That time was easy to go, but you have to gamble, and that means you steal, you cross a place where you're not supposed to.
What do you mean? What is it?
Well, look, if there's a body of water, this side is Polish and this side is England, let's say. And if you can go to the England, so between the people, they know a time when they cross. So when you cross, they cross the water. So they call it in Yiddish. They übergegangen den Grenitz.
What does that mean?
That means you went through used to call it a Grenitz.
The danger zone.
The danger zone, yeah.
Yeah.
That the danger was that you're not supposed to go and you go.
Right.
And so
They still have places like that.
Yeah. But if you're there already, there's nothing you could do about it. And then, you know what a blabber means?
What is it?
A blabber.
What is that?
That means when you're in a place you're not supposed to be, they arrest you and they send you back where you come from. And
So that's
nobody likes that.
right. So that's what they did with your father, you think?
Well, my father,
When they sent him
yeah,
back?
they started running, and then he probably, when he came back, he didn't go to America no more.
Right.
He died.
Do you remember, was your mother very upset when your father
I
died?
don't remember.
Were they close? Do you remember?
Mother and father, they had 7 children. I had a little brother too, I understand.
How come you never saw
I
him?
don't remember him.
You don't remember having a little brother?
No. He was
Nothing?
a baby then.
Did you don't remember him as a baby? Do you remember his name?
It's Srulik, I know they say
Srulik.
Srulik, oh yeah.
Well, what does that mean in English?
It's Srulik, I don't know.
So that was the 7th
Yeah.
sibling, brother or sister.
But my mother was a wonderful lady.
So you don't know what he died of? Just childbirth or whatever?
I know that my mother died of typhoid fever.
Right. And your father died of a heart attack, supposedly.
He died there because when he couldn't get to America, so he came back.
Right.
He
Right.
wanted to go to America because he wanted everybody to come to America.
Uh-huh.
And my Zayda had a brother here, a Radovsky.
Uh-huh.
That's why the
Right.
Zayda came with
Right.
it.
You
And
know,
my Zayda's first wife died, so he remarried.
in Russia?
Yeah. So he remarried, and that's where Minachana,
Who's that?
that Hannah was, now her mother was May's mother
Uh-huh.
was Minachana. Minachana, that's why she's my cousin. She was born, she was born to the Minachana.
Who's this?
Minachana,
Mechana is Avram's second wife?
no, Minachana was a daughter of my grandfather.
Of your grandfather?
Yeah.
Of Avram?
That's right. Grandfather, so and she was her daughter. That means that's how they're cousins.
Oh, okay. So wait, Avram had, your original grandmother died,
Died.
and Avram remarried in Russia.
Yeah, he married in Russia.
Then when he came to the United States, did he take his wife with him?
No, when he came,
Your
his
new-
wife. No, my grandfather remarried.
Right? And did she go to the United States?
Yes. and
With
Ray,
your brothers and sisters?
Yeah, Ray.
Her name was Ray?
Ray. I know they came after her later.
Who's Ray?
Ray was Nathan's wife.
Oh, right, okay. But they got married in the United States.
Yeah, they got married, but the time I came to America, in the meantime my mother died.
Right,
And by the time I came to America, I used to write letters to Nathan
right.
because I wrote them that I don't think what was filled and this, and I kept on writing just my name. I gave it.
Right. Well, what were you saying? You wrote him about quotas? What else?
I didn't write to him. I wrote in
In the what was the name of the
the
paper?
paper,
What was it called?
the forwards.
Right.
And the forwards, Nathan used to read it, I suppose, and he saw that, we had a partner to write that I'm looking for Radutsky.
Right. Right.
Radutskaya, used to go.
Uh-huh.
Whenever I was writing. No,
Did you write for a long time before?
No, and then he wrote me a letter, and then we used to correspond, and he wrote me, he sent me a Schiffskarte. A Schiffskarte means a ticket to come to America.
Uh-huh.
So when you go, a ticket is that they give you, when they give out these, I don't even know what they call it, these places. Anyway.
Wait, so?
We're not finished yet.
No.
So you could leave it here and we go to eat.
Yeah. Are you hungry?
I'm not hungry, but I want to eat on time because they close the place.
We have so much time. It's only 12:30.
12:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Maybe you wouldn't get for
Wait, why are you putting on your glasses?
because we go right away.
Wait.
It's flickering here.
Oh, good. That's a good sign.
What's the sign?
What's the sign? It means that the camera's working.
Oh.
Alright, this is the second take. Second part. Okay. Where were we?
I don't know.
Okay. We were. Okay. We were talking about
Coming to America.
Yeah, no, you're talking about now. When they left, when all your cousins, your brothers and sisters left, did you think you were going to see them again?
I don't remember what happened years ago.
Right,
I suppose I would.
right,
I felt that I know I had family.
right. And they,
And my mother surely wanted to see her children.
so they left, and then you started writing in this paper to them. Now, when your mother died, what were your, how did you try to get in touch
That
with
time
them?
there was no contact with America.
Were you worried about getting in touch with them?
I suppose so.
Uh-huh.
But, so there was a way of writing into the forwards that my name, with my name,
Right.
Rose, whatever my name was, Radutsky, is looking for Nathan Radutsky.
Right.
So when it was said Rose, so Nathan knew already
Right.
that Mama probably
Right.
died, otherwise would have been.
How long did you write in the paper? Like, for how much? Did you write for months or for a year?
No, I gave him once, I think.
Once, and you read it one time?
It just happened, by
So you were lucky.
No.
Were a lot of people?
Maybe I did a lot, I don't know, I couldn't remember.
Uh-huh.
All I know that then, see now I don't remember. We got connections after there with them
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't know we were in a boho when they went to America.
Well, no, they didn't know you were in Kiev. You mean.
They didn't know it, so that's
They
why.
knew you were in Bachum. You were always in a Bachum.
Yeah, but then I was in Kiev.
But they didn't know that.
That's why I.
So you notified them.
So I didn't notify them because there was no corresponding at the time.
Right.
So I had to do it through
Through the what was the name of that paper? The forwards?
the forwards.
Forwards. And what was that? Tell me, what was that paper?
The paper is like a Rose Radutsky.
Yeah, but what was the paper for? What was it?
Where people read papers here.
Was it like a newspaper?
A newspaper.
Well, how did you know they read it?
I don't know what it was. Just happened that Nathan read in the newspapers
Uh-huh.
that I am looking for Radutsky.
Uh-huh.
So then already got in touch with me. Like this, they didn't know where I was.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They didn't know that even Mama died. But Nathan knew that Mama died because I put my name on
Right,
it.
you told me that.
Yeah.
How did he get in touch with you?
I think he, I don't remember this, but all I know that he got in touch with me.
How do you think that he would?
I suppose so, because then we start corresponding.
No, but how do you think he correspond? Well, how did you correspond?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Through the Hayas, maybe?
No, the Hayas just happened that time. It's so many years. You
Yeah,
never
but you-
think of it.
Well, try to remember. What did you?
Well, anyway,
Mhm.
he got in touch with me.
Uh-huh.
And as far as I know, he said that he gave a man $300. that he should look for me
Uh-huh.
in Kiev.
Okay.
And that guy
How
probably...
did you find that? He told you that when you came to the United States? He
Right.
told you all the details?
No. But then, the man never looked for me and they never saw me.
Uh-huh.
He just took away the $300 and it was gone.
Good deal.
Then I don't know, I don't remember how I started corresponding with him.
Uh-huh.
And then he knew already that moment.
So wait, you say that he told you later on that he gave $300 and you never saw this person.
No,
So how
never.
did you learn, you don't remember how he found you in
He
here?
told me that, he wrote to me that he sent a man.
But you didn't get a letter, did you? Were you getting letters?
I started getting letters. I don't remember really these
Uh-huh.
things.
Okay.
All I know that after I got in touch with him, and I went to look for, I went to the Hayas, all in the Hayas. I went all the time there to the Hayas to find out what's what. So that time they stopped making passage to America.
Was the Hayas a legal organization?
Yeah,
Was it only for Jews?
I suppose so. I don't know. I think it's still existing.
I don't know what it is.
Hayas is like an organization that cares for people
Right.
and try to help people.
Did it have another name or is that the only name?
No, don't know.
Uh-huh. So you would go to a building where they were?
Where the Hayas was, everybody knows that. And inquire and this and that. And then was a time that they didn't make passports, they had, I guess they had something to do with people are interested in these things, they like to help. So the Hayas, people you could, like you go in a bank, people stand all over and then behind them taking people come and ask questions and all that. But this time, they stopped making passports to America for a while. So they only made passports for Argentina and for Cuba. So I wrote, in another thing, there was a husband and wife. They were able to go legally, whatever it is. But they knew my standards and they were nice. I was alone, So they offered me, I'll go with them like they have a sister or a daughter, whatever it is, adopt. So I wrote that to Nathan.
You were writing letters to him?
To Nathan.
What language did you write
In Jewish, I guess.
in? Yiddish?
I guess so.
Uh-huh.
So I wrote to him that somebody wants to, the story, the way they want to go, and they have to make it, adopt me, otherwise they can't
Right.
take me.
Right.
So I wrote to him, he says, it wouldn't work out, because people that come like that to America, they adopt somebody, they keep them.
Uh-huh.
So then it's a different name and a different this and that, so he says no.
This was Nathan.
Nathan.
Why didn't you write to your grandfather, to Avram?
My grandfather didn't. Don't forget, this was already so many years later.
What year was this?
Old,
What year were you doing this
this
from
probably
Kiev?
was 19. I came to America 19 when?
You tell me?
Yeah, I forgot.
No, you didn't. How old were you when you got here? 1920 something.
1922 or 23. Well, anyway, he said not to go to Argentina and
Not to take this couple.
and
Do you
then-
remember the couple? The people?
I forgot the call.
You don't know their name?
I forgot them.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't have to know them. That's all. They went to America. They were going legally. And
Were
I-
they nice? Do you remember?
Yeah, they were nice. We stayed in the same hotel, like you would say.
Why were you in a hotel?
Not in a hotel. We had to stay someplace. So we stayed. There was families that they gave up rooms, for money. You pay the money and you get a room with.
Why were you staying there? I thought you had...
Where then?
Hold on one second. Alright. Interrupted by... Part 3. Okay. In any case, where were we? Oh, so you said... so you got these you were corresponding with Nathan, and you didn't stay. No, you were staying in some place. Why were you staying in this place?
Had to be somewhere.
I thought you were staying with your stepfather.
This was already in, I was in Poland already.
Oh,
I
wait,
went
wait. We didn't get to Poland yet.
Oh, that was, I was going to America. So
Okay, wait, but when you were in Kiev,
that was in Kiev, so I'm still talking about in Kiev.
let's talk about Kiev.
But Kiev, so in Kiev,
Uh-huh.
I wrote letters to Nathan,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave in to the, so anyway, we went,
Take your glasses off. Uh-huh.
it's too much light for me.
It is? Alright, just look at me.
Yeah.
Alright, hold on.
All right.
No, that's still hurting you, the light?
Oh, no. No,
Okay,
I see the flickering.
good. Okay. So where were we? So you said you were still in,
I was still in
you can
Kiev.
look at me, okay.
I was still in Kiev.
Uh-huh.
And
Now how did you,
then Mama died,
right,
my mother died.
right, and then
And I gave in to the papers, like I said before,
right.
because I repeat myself.
Yeah, but that's alright, you have to get in the flow.
Yeah. And I wrote that I'm looking for Nathan Radatsky.
Right, you told me this. Now how did you know to go to, how did you start your journey across Europe?
The journey across Europe. So then, how was it? Then they sent me a letter.
Who's that?
Nathan
Uh-huh.
sent me a letter from a senator here, Dean.
Senator who?
Dean, I think was his name.
Uh-huh.
He sent a letter to the to Warsaw, yeah. In Warsaw, then they always have a council, they have a lawyer, whatever they have there.
Okay.
Representative.
Who, the United States did?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So he sent a letter to him. So he gave me, I received the letter, and to go there, I came to go there. So I say, like to see whatever I was saying this in Russian or what. And they wouldn't connect me because I wouldn't give the letter. No, this was later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
No, this was later already.
Oh wait, so tell me again, what do you,
This was later.
okay.
Anyway, I came to America.
Wait, we're not in America yet. Tell me, you were in,
In Rovno.
first of all, okay, first of all,
You know where I am?
yeah, you're gonna show me, but what were you, how did you know to go to Kiev? You were in Kiev, and you got a letter from Nathan, from the senator, that said you could go to Warsaw
No. Yeah, I got a letter
in Kiev. Uh-huh.
in Kiev. I got a letter to this, from one senator to the other there. The senator wrote a letter to him. I don't even know what it was.
To a Russian senator or to?
A Russian senator. Not a senator, but I don't know whether he was a
Uh-huh.
counselor. I
Uh-huh.
don't remember. Anyway, I was there and I wanted to give the letter. No, anyway, I think this was already when I was coming to America. But before I came to America,
Right.
it was,
How did you know to go from Kiev to Warsaw? What was your first stop, right?
well, that's what it was.
How did you know?
Nathan wanted, I don't know how, I don't
Well,
even
think
remember
about
how
it.
they,
Well, try to remember. Like you went,
I wouldn't remember. I remember that we hired a man that I knew, that he had relatives near the Warsaw or something.
uh-huh,
And he sort of took over like my protector,
uh-huh. What was his name?
one of them.
How old was he?
A man that had children and everything.
And how old were you about?
Huh?
Was he Jewish?
Of course.
And how old were you about when you were leaving
Well,
Kiev?
who remembers?
Well, you left Kiev. How long did it take you to get from Kiev to
Kiev?
New York?
Well, from Kiev, I was in Warsaw I went to Warsaw. In Warsaw was the Hayas and the, what was that again? I forget it. I forget it.
That's all right.
But anyway, I wouldn't remember.
Well, we'll go slowly.
Yeah. But anyway, I went to Warsaw from Kiev.
Right. Now, let's try to remember. How did you leave? How did you know to go from Kiev to Warsaw? You said this man took you. Right?
You know, the man, he was my protector.
Right, and he took you
He took me to Rovno.
Warsaw.
He took me over to, he took me to Rovno.
What's Rovno?
Rovno is a shtetl
In Russia?
in Russia,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And from there was a Hayas there,
Uh-huh.
and there was, one guy, I don't know what he was, that he was trying to help people. But at the same time, I had a protector with me. He had a wife and children, and he was going with me to cross the Grinitz
Uh-huh.
and come to Rovno. That was from Kiev.
Right.
So it happened that we had to stay a whole day long in the heat. We had to go at night. And in
Why
the
at
morning,
night?
because when we went to go, so we couldn't go because there wasn't the right people that they had to meet. You know, they had combinations, people that they were having business, making money. So on the other side, on this side, you have to go from one place to the other, and it's a big area and the water. How it was at night.
So wait, keep telling me details. Like, how did you travel? By
We
horse?
traveled by train.
By train.
By train, and then by train, and then I came to Warsaw.
Okay, wait. Let's talk more about how long did it take you to get from Kiev to Warsaw?
By train wasn't too long,
But you stopped in the shtetl.
you know. And then we stopped off there already to stay there, and we stayed there and forgot the name already. I forgot the name of the shtetl.
Well, here's a map. Here's a map.
Russian map.
Yeah, it's not a great one, but it's helped.
Yeah.
Here's a map. Here's this. Do you know where Warsaw is? Here's Kiev.
Europe. Yeah.
Here's Kiev, right here, where my finger is. You see Kiev? Kiev.
Yeah.
Now, where was Obuchov?
I don't know whether it's on the map.
No, it's not, but I mean, where was it? Relative, was it south, east, west,
I
north?
don't know.
Okay, here's Kiev.
All right, but Kiev is nothing to do with it. Let me look what else
Okay.
is there. Russia.
I may have a better map. Do those towns cities look familiar?
Sure.
You want to look at another map, or is that
No,
help?
I see Warsaw.
Right, here's Warsaw.
Yeah.
Right there, Warsaw. See more things on this map, maybe. Hold on.
I wanted to smoke.
Yeah, but you can see with the where's Kiev here? Kiev, southwest of Moscow. Kiev. Here's Kiev.
This is a different deal.
Yeah, and here's Warsaw. Okay. There's Kiev and there's Warsaw. So Kiev and Warsaw are very close.
They're not close, it's a couple of hours. Well, anyway,
So wait, let's try to get this so that we know where you went. If you went, wait, take your glasses off. You don't need it. Okay. Now, all right. I know it's hard to remember, but let's try to think about it. You went from Kiev to Warsaw by train with this man.
by train.
And you stayed in the shtetl overnight.
No,
You told me you stayed in some town.
no.
No.
From Kiev, I traveled. We happened then, we moved out of the apartment from my uncle,
Uh-huh.
and we moved into an apartment where at that time you weren't allowed to have too many rooms. You have to share something. So we had 3 rooms, we had to give away a room to somebody else. And this party that stayed with us had a brother that lived somewhere near Warsaw. And he wanted to make money. So he was getting $200 or something. And he supposed to come and take me. He was my protector,
Right.
being he's a married man.
Right.
And so I went with that protector. And then when we came there, he went to go back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed already there. It's
So
not,
where did you stay?
not in Warsaw.
So, how did he get hired? Did Nathan hire him from the United States, or did you hire him?
I probably wrote to Nathan.
Uh,
He wanted somebody, I shouldn't go alone anyway. And I wouldn't go alone because I was with 7 people. I was crossing the border there.
right.
7 men. And I was the only woman. And you know, you go through the water, and then we went south.
What do you mean you went through the water?
You have to cross the water from one side to the other.
Water, physically?
Physically water.
Tell me what that was like. What'd you walk through? Well, do you remember that day?
I remember the day.
Tell me
Being
about
I was a woman, one woman, and the other ones were people like they were selling, handling things. So they were buying things here and they went to Warsaw to sell it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So,
They
yeah.
were making, you call them,
Whatever.
yeah.
They were selling things they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, they
Illegally.
should, yeah, illegally and legally, and they made money.
What
that
kind
way.
of things? Anything special?
Things that
Russian
was
things?
short, things that people needed, I guess. You know, like don't even remember. Anyway, it was
Wait, so
taken
tell me about walking through water.
through water,
Tell me about why you.
and then became
How much water? What'd you
the
walk?
water was up to here.
Up to your waist?
Yes.
How come?
Well, that's why it was deep there. It wasn't walking. You could
And it
walk
was
there.
dark?
Naturally, it has to be dark because otherwise.
People, so you did it illegally. You
That's
crossed.
right. That's
How
right.
long did you have to walk in water?
Well, we walked a couple of hours.
In
I don't
water?
know how long. Not too many hours. But then the guy that made up with the other guy, you know, the guys from that side and this side,
Uh-huh.
they do it for money.
Right, illegally.
And illegally. And you cross one. So then, when by the time we came there, was already they changed
The deal?
not the deal, but they changed the people that stay in the, what did they call them? The people that watched,
Uh-huh.
watchers.
Uh-huh.
You know, you have the people that watch things.
Oh, they changed the frontier? The
Yeah,
people
the
who
frontier,
guarded
yeah.
the border?
Yeah, so they changed the frontier.
Uh-huh.
So with different people, so we couldn't go. And then I don't know how we came to
Did you have to go back to the water?
we had to go back.
Through the water?
Yes. And when we came back already, we had to stay and wait for the next night. And I was only one girl with 7 men. And those people were they were handling things that they needed in Warsaw.
Business. So you were the only one trying to
I'm
escape.
the only
though.
one not to escape, I was with them.
Right, but you.
But when we came to Warsaw, everybody escaped, and I remained alone. But the guy that was with me, he stuck with me. He got an apartment somewhere. He wanted the money, you know. This was a deal for him.
Right. Who had the money?
Nathan was supposed to give money
To whom?
to the bank, and from the Bank of America, I guess they knew how to make a deal.
So
I didn't have the money to give him.
Right.
So this was through the bank was going, I suppose.
So wait, when was he going to get paid? He was going to get paid in Warsaw?
He was going to get full pay when I'm delivered right.
In the United States?
Not
in Warsaw,
yet,
in
in
Warsaw.
Warsaw. And then he stayed a while. And
Do you remember him at all?
I don't remember him. If I see him, I wouldn't recognize
Well,
him.
he looked at.
But I remember the guy was a brother. He
was
went. He made a deal to go for money.
Right.
He had a wife and children.
Now, how did? I'm sorry, I keep asking it. How did you meet him again? Who met him?
You know, when you stay in a small place,
Uh-huh.
and you know that whoever goes to America, they're an immigrant, so they talk to one another.
Right.
You know, they become friends, they become whatever. There was a father with 5 children. He was coming to America, but he went legally. And this husband and wife, this was a rooming house life. Each one has a room, whatever. Now this man and the woman, and I saw that I don't get anywhere. So we start talking about the quota. So the quota was not to come to America, but you were able to go to Mexico or what was the other I
You
told
said
you?
Argentina and Cuba.
Argentina and Cuba.
Now wait, where was that quota from? The quotas were from Kiev, you said. When you were in Kiev at first.
No, this was when in Warsaw.
How long were you in Poland?
I was about 6 weeks or more. I don't remember.
Was it dangerous there?
It was, you know, you're afraid to go to see maybe you'll be arrested.
Where did you stay?
I stay in a rooming house, but they kept people like me.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you, there was a man, a father with 5 children.
Was he with the children?
Yeah,
And
they
the
were all
wife?
with him. He didn't have no wife. So he was going to
So
America.
wait, they crossed the water with you, the border?
No, they didn't, but they lived there in that house.
So they were in Warsaw.
They were already
You met
in northern Warsaw. This was Rovno.
What's Rovno?
Rovno is a state like
Like here? Like,
Connecticut or something like it.
okay, was Rovno near Warsaw? It was part of Russia?
Rovno was part of Russia, but Warsaw was part of Poland. So that's two states,
2 countries.
2 countries. And if one comes to the other, they're not illegally. This was illegally.
So they lived in Rovno,
Yes.
the kids. His kids. Where?
No, these kids came like me, an immigrant. They were going to America. He had 6 kids. Or
Right,
5
wait, I'm
kids.
confused. You started in Kiev with this man, right?
No. When I came to Rovno, this guy already had a place like this. It's a rooming house.
He already had it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so when we came, they used to deal. So there were dealers going to from Rovno to Warsaw, or something like it.
Right.
So they go for the people that were selling things illegally.
Wait, tell me if I have this right. You started in Kiev with a man who was a cousin?
He was a brother to the people that lived in the apartment where I lived with.
Right. Okay. Then he got paid to take you to Warsaw. Now,
Yeah.
you went from there to the border, right, with him by train.
No, not by train. He went with the border already, Warsaw, and I stayed there, and he.
Wait. Well, hold on. You went from Kiev with him, and what about the 5 men, all the business?
We met them in the
The train station, I thought.
somewhere there already. The deals made up. We met them where the people are making deals false. So
Okay.
they used to go with
Right.
selling things like this.
Okay.
So they're
But you met him in
They
Kiev.
chances.
You went from Kiev
Kiev with this guy.
to where? What was the next place? Rovno?
This was Rovno, yeah.
Rovno. All right. Then
Then I stayed in Rovno
we stayed in Rovno.
until I wrote letters to Nathan. It was easy from there.
From Rovno. Okay.
Yeah, Rovno to America.
Okay. And then
and then
another man took you
no,
across the water.
no. I went with this man.
The same man.
The same man went with me to
To where?
Warsaw.
Warsaw.
Yeah.
And
Then he had to wait until he gets his money.
right. Okay. Then he would get his money. Now,
No.
how did you get from Kiev? What transportation did you use from Kiev to Rovno?
We
Train?
went by train.
Train. And then
And then from Rovno,
uh-huh,
we had to go there already for the.
to Warsaw.
To
You
Warsaw.
went through the water, and then how'd you get to Warsaw?
That's how we went to the
The water.
The water there.
It was all by foot to Warsaw?
Yeah. No, not to Warsaw,
To the border.
To the border.
And then once you got in Poland, where did you go? How'd you get to Warsaw?
So we went to a we went by train.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all mixed up there.
No, you're doing great.
No, I don't remember how we did. I know that we came to Warsaw and it was too complicated.
What do you mean? What was too complicated?
It was complicated. We had to go, we go all the time to the Ayas,
Mm-hmm.
and every day is a different story. Here you could go, you can go. And I had a passport, a Schiffskarte they called it.
A what?
Schiffskarte.
Uh-huh.
That's a, how you say Schiffskarte?
A visa?
No, a passage.
Uh-huh.
Passage,
Uh-huh.
you know, a card
Uh-huh.
that I go to America. Some people were going to Argentina. Some people go to different places.
Mhm.
It's working.
Okay.
But all that stuff that I was talking was going to go over here.
And where do you think it's going?
No, it's so we talked in nonsense.
We're not talking nonsense.
Yeah.
This is good. I told you I can change all of this.
How-
What I'm saying now, I can cut pieces out.
So how could you cut it out?
I'll show you.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So now I'm in Warsaw,
So wait. We still have to get the details now. So you were in Rovno.
and the
And
Rovna.
his kids lived there? His children lived in Rovno?
Who's
This,
kid?
this man that you were traveling with.
I didn't travel with anybody. The man took care of me, and I came there, and that's all he. I had nothing to do with him.
When you went from Kiev to Rovno, was he with you on the train?
Yes,
Okay, and then you got to Rovno. Was he? And where did you stay there?
I stayed in a rooming house, and I don't know where he stayed. But
Okay, you don't know.
Yeah, but he had to wait
For the other people.
he had to wait for the money.
In Rovno?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then.
Then you crossed the border.
So when we crossed the border, we already were in Rovna. We were able to be in Rovna. No, we were able to be in Warsaw.
Right. Now, crossing the border, you told me there was another guy there and they changed the guards.
No,
And
crossing
you had to
the-
go back to Rovno.
No, no. From Kiev, when we have to go to Kiev, we went to Rovno by train, and then we came there. So I don't know how I don't remember how we met with all those people that were going to. They were going to Rovno. They were going to sell, people that they were selling certain things that it was dear at the time, like.
And they were going to take it from Rovno to Warsaw.
Yeah,
Now-
so they took it there. They were selling it for big
All right,
prices.
so you all met in Rovno.
We all met. You all met in Rome, I guess,
And then you went from Rovno
to Warsaw.
to Warsaw, but you had trouble at the border, and you had to go back to Rovno and spend another
No.
day there.
No, we didn't have to go back. We just stayed there.
What about the water, crossing back and
Though
forth?
So we were crossing the water, but by crossing the water, where we had the stoppage was when to come in. The people change, like.
Right, you told me, but
yeah.
where was that?
That was between Rovno and
And Poland.
Poland. Yeah.
Right, so you went with him,
Yeah, he was my protector.
right, and some other guys who were going to
Yeah,
do
those
business
guys
there.
were business people. Yeah.
Okay, and then, and you had to go back and you had to spend the night in Rovno because you couldn't
Yeah,
get
I
into
stayed in
Poland.
Rovna. Stayed a while because they had a Hayas there. They had another place that we were able to converse, to ask. But the Hayas helped the people out. They told them, like there's always something that they stopped going to giving passports to America.
Mhm.
If they stopped, and you're going to America, and I had a passport already, I bought so I wrote to Nathan. In the meantime I stay here in Stoffer, but I stay there, and there's always, you're afraid in the street, you're afraid to walk in case they'll say you're how would you say, a deserter.
Oh, a refugee or
A
whatever.
refugee.
That you're running away.
running away.
Because
And
Rovna was a place everybody tried to leave from.
yeah, so Rovna was a place where you stay there, and
And
they
it's
have
right on the
rooms
border.
there. And that's where the guy lived there with 5 children or 3 children. He was coming to America. But him I wouldn't talk
Now
about.
that's your protector.
No, my protector was alone. His people lived there near somewhere, so I don't know.
So wait, who are these people with the? Who's the guy
These
with the
people
children?
were like me.
Wait, who are the people with the children that you said? They keep talking
A
about?
guy went there to America with children.
And
I'm
what did he
telling you
have?
about the place where
That's
we
where you
stayed.
stayed?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there were 5 rooms. The husband and wife that had the house slept in the kitchen, and they gave up the rooms for the money.
Come on. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Is the light driving you crazy?
No,
Okay.
this light, not that. I'm not looking at here, but you could see it sideways. Anyway, but Nathan.
Hold on one sec. Okay.
But I used to correspond with Nathan, and he had to stay, get his money from Nathan. So it takes time, so he probably stayed there about 3 weeks.
You did?
No, he did.
He did. In what
He
city?
waited for the money.
Which city?
He had nothing to do with
In
me.
which city?
And I think it was in Rovna.
In Rovna. So you stayed in Rovna for 3 weeks?
I stayed more because,
In Rovna?
yeah, he stayed for 3 weeks there to wait for the money.
And then he took you to Warsaw.
And then he had nothing to do with me. Then I told you the way he wanted me to, there was another couple that stayed there. And they wanted to, I should go with them. I mean, I could have gone with them to America, I don't know where, to New York, whatever it is, as an adopted
Right, you
sister.
told me that.
Yeah.
Now, was that in Rovna?
That in Rovna, yeah. So I wrote to Nathan,
Right, you told me about
and
that.
so I said,
Now, no wait, when he got his money in Rovna, this man,
so he,
did he
I
take
did-
you to Warsaw? Who took you to
No, he had
Warsaw?
nothing to do with me no more.
So who took you across the water to
Well,
Warsaw?
across the water, no, this was before the cross the water.
Right, who took you across the...
Across the water, that these people that got paid for me, and the others that they were handling people.
Was he the guy with the children?
That was where we stayed, in a small
Okay,
place.
so it's
So
different.
that the children. I'm just saying that there was a place
Okay, I
where
understand.
with the people were
So
traveling.
somebody different took you to Warsaw?
Then I had to hire to go by train. I had to hire a guy, paid him $30. I went like his wife
From where?
from Rovno to Warsaw.
That
So
was-
you go by train.
Wait. What happened to the water?
The water, forget about.
Why? It's important.
We are already in Warsaw. I'm already in Warsaw.
Okay, wait, let's get this straight again. Now let me tell you what I think happened. You went from Kiev to Rovno by train with this man who was going to get paid in Rovno. He went with you to the boarding house, and he stayed there for about 3
He
weeks
didn't
until he got
stay. He
paid.
didn't stay, but I
He stayed somewhere
Yeah.
in Rovno to get
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah,
He got paid,
yeah.
and then someone took you from Rovno.
No, but I had to go from Rovno to Warsaw.
You hired someone.
Somebody, you talk with people and they tell you who's who. A guy that makes money that
Right, took you from
took
Rovno
me from Rovno to Warsaw.
and that was through the water and all.
No, we went by train. And I was sitting and I closed my eyes because I was shivering because he was making the money, but it's in hot water.
He could have taken you anywhere.
No, not all. No, this was his business. He was taking.
Where was the water part? What part?
The water was from Rovno to Warsaw.
So he had to take you there through the water.
No, this was we already in Rovno.
Right, Rovno.
Yeah.
But how did you get from Rovno to Warsaw? You said you had to sneak across the border.
No, from
From water.
Rovno to Warsaw, I went by train legally. Legally, I went somebody else's wife by train.
Okay.
Now you get it?
No.
Look,
No, this is interesting.
from Kiev,
Right,
I went to Rovno.
right. By train.
But there's a certain place there that it's connected with you have to cross the water, you're not
Right.
allowed to.
Okay, I
If you're
understand.
not allowed to.
Okay,
so-
that was where it was.
That's
Okay,
right.
I understand.
And then when in Warsaw already,
Uh-huh.
everything is in Warsaw.
Right. Now, was Rovno Do you know if it was part of Russia or part of Poland?
I think it was part of Russia,
Okay.
part of Rovno, of Poland.
Okay, so it was on the other side of the border.
Yeah, outside the border.
Okay, well that
But
makes more
coming,
sense now.
but coming to Rovno, we missed to go through in the evening, so we had to stay a whole day waiting for the next evening.
I see.
So when I
Do you
was,
know what town you were in? Still
we
waiting
were not in a town. We were in the woods.
in the woods. Do you remember that day?
I remember that.
What did you have to? What did you do in the woods? Where did you sleep?
Who slept?
What did you do in the woods all day?
You know, was a.
You were
place
with
to
5 men.
5 men. The man that was with me. I mean,
Uh-huh.
he was my protector.
Right.
So he was always with me. You know, he took care of me, supposed to.
Uh-huh.
Nothing. They didn't need me.
You didn't feel threatened? I mean, weren't you
No, I
young,
didn't even
pretty
think
woman?
of it. A young, pretty woman.
I'm sure you were young and pretty then.
Don't you see? They were handling things. They were making money that way.
Right.
You know, when you take from one place to another, you're
Right.
not supposed to. What do you call that?
Whatever.
Smuggling.
Yeah, they're smuggling.
They smuggled in things.
Right, the
And they-
smugglers, right.
Smugglers, and there they take more money. Certain things that they were hot and
I understand.
yeah.
Okay, so now I have
So
more
these
argument.
were, and then the guy that was with me, he was my protector.
Right,
So he came with me, but he was promised $300.
in
for that.
Rovno. I
Yeah.
understand.
So
Okay,
when he brought me to Rovno, I didn't need him no more, and he was waiting somewhere. So he didn't stay in my place. He waited until he got his money. Nathan sent the money, and that's the way it was.
and then he
And
left.
then he left.
Now, so from
I don't know if I got
Rovno
about.
to Warsaw, you hired somebody to
Yeah,
take
then
you.
I stayed in Rovno, and I stayed a while
Why did you stay a while there?
Where should I go?
Why didn't you go to Warsaw right away?
You couldn't go without a passport or something, you know.
Right, but that's all still
Yeah.
Poland. Warsaw was-
yeah, but don't you
Right.
see, I'm not going regularly from Kiev, like I had a passport, they
Right.
sent me a passport, I
Right.
don't remember how it was.
Uh-huh.
But with the passport, I'm illegally, I have a passport, but I still don't have
A visa to go to Warsaw.
that's right. No, I was in Warsaw.
Right,
In Warsaw you could stay, but I stayed illegally.
right.
Nobody knew about, and when nobody knows about, they don't know. And then that time they restricted the people, you know, like aliens. They restricted to live in Warsaw. So there was a place in Warsaw that they kept these people, and they got money for it, and
Illegally.
yeah, but that's all. And in that time they used to take, if you had too many rooms, you have to give a room to somebody.
Uh-huh.
You know, if you have 4 rooms, you don't need 4 rooms, so you need 3, so you give somebody that needs it.
How did
I
you,
mean, you
not by,
hire-
there wasn't a law against that, it was just,
There was a law. But when I came there in Rovno, this was the law, but people were already taken there, and the husband and wife, and they had 2 children. They gave up, they slept in the kitchen, they gave up the living room.
and you
there.
stayed there for a long time.
And I stayed there until, to go to Rovno, to Warsaw.
What did you do while you were there?
Nothing, I used to go to they had not a Hayas, but another place.
Uh-huh.
Forgot what the name is, and they used to give you ideas and promising and this and that. But in Warsaw,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah. But when I came to Warsaw, so what was in Warsaw? Yeah, there was a place that they took in aliens, whatever it is, they give rooms, and that's how they make money. But
So you were in Rovno
in
for
Rovno.
several weeks.
yes, and then by the time I went to Warsaw, I had to go by train.
Right.
And to go by train, I'm not allowed to, because they come in and they look
Check for your passport.
check.
Uh-huh.
So I gave $30 that time to a guy that was his business.
How did you find him? Do you remember?
People that talk there, they know who's a alien, and they recommend. And he
Do you
takes-
remember talking to people at all about it?
No, I mean that time, so people knows that there's an alien. We're all together, like the people like me, there are more people like me. But we came there to Rovno, and we stayed in a room, whatever it is. but to come to Rovno, like I say, you're not allowed to come without a passport. You know, that time when you were going on a train, they came and they examined, do you have a passport, where are you going?
Right. So
That
you
time it
hired
was-
this man,
So this
and you
man,
said you
I
posed,
didn't say I was his wife.
you posed as his wife.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was his wife, and I was sitting, I had my eyes closed,
Uh-huh.
and whenever I didn't want to hear what he'll say,
Uh-huh.
you know, I was afraid
Right. Were they talking in Russian or Polish?
in Russia.
Really? In
Whatever
Poland?
they were talking, I knew what
Well,
they
when
were
you were on
talking.
in Poland, what language did they speak when you were there?
They speak,
In Rovno and in Warsaw.
in Warsaw they speak Polish.
Right. Did you know any Polish?
I probably knew a couple of words
You
there.
think you did?
There were a lot of aliens like me.
So you could talk Russian to some people.
Yeah, to Russian, Jewish, whatever. But like I say, there was a couple in Rovno.
Right. You told me about them.
Yeah, so
But they didn't
and
get
that's
it.
how I got a passport to, what did I say before, Argentina, what's the other one?
Cuba and Mexico.
Cuba.
Cuba. Wait. What? What about this passport to Cuba?
To Cuba, I had a passport to go to Cuba.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to go to Cuba.
Uh-huh.
So Nathan sent me a letter.
Yep.
I even remember his name, Keen. He was a senator.
Okay.
And Bill from the Gorovitz knew him or something. So he gave me a letter I should go and visit him
In Warsaw.
in Warsaw.
Okay.
And I was afraid. As I came, I had a letter, so it was a big shock. And here I have a passport to Cuba.
So you got a passport to Cuba? You had a passport to let you to go to Cuba?
To Cuba, but who wants to go
How
to
did you get that? Where did you
I
get
don't
that?
know.
Well, where did you get it? So
I
you
bought
said
it,
so.
I think. Yeah, I got $30 of it.
Do you remember where? What city you were
In
in?
the same in Warsaw.
So you bought some passport to go to Cuba, but you didn't
No,
want to go there.
but I could have gone to Cuba, but I didn't want to go, and I wrote to Nathan.
Uh-huh.
He says if Cuba's too far, and whatever it is. And then he said better to Cuba, and then when it came along, this guy, and he got a letter from Nathan, that Mr. Keen, whatever his name was, he was a senator, and he was in New York. And through him, you know, if you go talk to him, he had a guy working for him. So
Okay, so you got this letter.
this letter, and I come there, and I wouldn't give him the letter because it was too. I thought maybe if you don't let me in, I want to speak personally to him.
Who was this guy that you were going to see?
The guy that is a senator.
In Poland or?
No, he's a senator in New York. They probably have senators in all over the country.
Wait. There was a senator, this
From-
Keen or whatever his
Keen.
name. He
He's
was in
an
New York.
American,
An American.
Yeah.
And was he in Poland?
and he lived there in Poland.
No, he can't live in Poland.
He doesn't live in Poland, but he has connections with the.
He knew somebody in Poland.
No, but no, that's right. No. Keen is a New Yorker, let's say,
American, right.
American.
Senator.
And Bill, our cousin, got a letter from him
Right.
to see him. Now, and to see this senator.
In
I
the
don't
United
know
States?
United States. I don't know his name, but the senator has a guy working for him
In Poland.
in Poland.
Okay.
I can't go to talk to him,
Mhm.
so I have to go through this guy. And I wouldn't give him the letter, I just want to see the guy. So,
In Poland. So you wanted to see someone who was
someone,
affiliated with the
Yes.
senator
But
in
anyway,
the United States.
so anyway,
And you had a letter that
yeah,
said you could
so
do
I
that.
gave him the letter already, I don't know what it was,
Okay.
they told me. And when I gave him the letter, he came out, then I had a visa to go, they gave me for 13 months to wait. And I write to
To go to the
Nathan,
United States.
to go to the United States, not to Cuba,
To Cuba.
something like it.
So wait. All right,
I
let's slow
don't
down.
remember how this was.
That's all right. You're getting, this is good.
All I know that when I didn't want to give him the letter because, you know, he's afraid maybe it's a joke.
Okay,
or
so wait,
something.
let me get this straight. You got a letter from Bill.
Not from Bill, from
Nathan.
Nathan sent me a letter
letter.
that Bill got from the senator.
And Bill was who?
Bill Gorovitz.
And who was he?
He's a cousin to Charlie and
All right.
all the
So
gang.
Bill got this letter from a senator that said you could see someone
I
in
should
Warsaw.
see him, yeah, it was.
When you went to go see him, you had to talk to somebody else.
Well,
And he took the letter and he came
and I
back
gave him
and
a-
said, you have 13th month, in 13 months you can go to Cuba.
Cuba.
That's what happened, right?
So then,
Does that sound right?
I think so. And then I bought a ticket ready to go to Cuba.
Cuba. And you told Nathan.
And I told Nathan, so he says no.
Cuba.
No, then they changed again the regering and they made it to go, you could go to America. You know, there was always changing that time. Here you can go and here you don't go, here you go. You know, I was on the wall all the time. I used to go, there was a guy, I know what he wasn't a senator, but in the Hayas were a few people that were trying to help the people that were going to America. So I used to go every day to find out what's new, what this, that. And they give you hope, you know, they try to be nice to you.
Uh-huh.
So what else should I tell you?
Okay, wait, so I'm trying to get this all organized. This is
All right.
so you got this passport that allowed you to go to Cuba.
Yeah.
But then you
I
said,
paid $30 for but I didn't, you have to tear it up because then I was able to go to America.
how were you getting money this whole time? Where were you getting
Well,
money
Nathan
from?
sent me that time money.
And you could go wire and pick it up at a bank?
Yeah.
Even though you were Jewish? It didn't matter?
I don't remember the way
Did it matter that you were Jewish?
why not?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
think
know
so, yeah.
if they discriminated against you.
I don't remember.
Were there pogroms in Warsaw?
Well, after when I came.
Were you involved in any pogroms in Russia? I mean, in Warsaw?
No.
Were you involved in any pogroms in Kiev?
Well, I was involved because there were pogroms in Kiev, it's a big city.
Right. Well, were you involved in any?
I wasn't involved in anything because I was, like everybody, they hide themselves.
Did you read newspapers and all?
Yeah, the Russian papers. And then they,
Did they write about the pogroms, or did they cover it up?
look, my mother came to Russia from Obukhov to Kiev.
Mm-hmm.
And they came already, they hired a wagon, they took something that they were able to use right away.
Mm-hmm.
And they left everything there.
Did your mother tell you about the pogrom?
Didn't have to tell me, we knew it right away. And then mother, we didn't have, you couldn't get rooms all over there right away.
Right.
So we had to move into my uncle.
Right. You told
So
me.
he gave us no,
What was his name? You don't.
Levi Yitzchak.
Right. Okay. So now you were in Warsaw, and they said you had 13 months to wait to go to Cuba, but you didn't want to go to Cuba,
No, I wrote to Nathan.
and he said no. So how did you figure? What happened
And
next?
then I think the senator changed it to go to America or something, and no, the quota changed that you could go to America.
Okay. And you kept going there. Were you going to the Hayas or to him every day?
Not to Hayas.
Every day.
And yeah, and every day I was going there whenever I able to. You're afraid to walk out in the street when you're a fugitive. You're a fugitive when you're,
Right.
and that's the way it was.
Wait.
Then-
That's more. Yeah.
Oh no, wait a minute, it's not so easy.
No.
No, and then
So you waited in Warsaw. You kept changing, and then you
Yeah.
got. How long did you? Do you remember about how long you waited before it changed from Cuba to America? You got a passport changed from
I didn't change my passport. I changed my
your visa.
my visa.
How long did
No,
that?
not my visa. I changed my transportation ticket.
Mhm.
Instead of going to America, I'm going to, as long as you go to America. But then Nathan says, no, not to go
To Cuba. Not to go to Cuba. You should go to America.
your way.
So
And then I wrote him about the man and the wife that they wanted to adopt me. I could go to there.
Oops, hold on a second. Hello. Hi. Wait one second.
It's working. It's tickling.
Okay. So, wait, I want to get this straight.
And,
So,
everything is there, all the nonsense stuff that we're talking.
no, I turned it off. Let me just figure this out. Okay. You were in Kiev. Now, I know you can't remember too well, but you were in there, when you were there,
Russia.
hold on a second. You're gonna hear that. Did a toilet flush. Alright.
No, it's all right.
Up,
They're
up,
gonna
now.
hear that.
Yeah. I'll cut that out. You were in Kiev. You had 13 months
No, I was in Warsaw.
in Warsaw. You had 13 months till you could go to Cuba.
Yes.
And then some time elapsed, and then you could go to America.
Then there was a law that you could go to America.
Okay, a quota.
A quarter year.
And you went, and then,
And I was going to America.
were you happy? Do you remember?
Well, I was happy I'm going, but I have to go. This way, I didn't want to go to Cuba,
Uh-huh.
but I had to go somewhere, so no, forget that. Not I had to go, I wrote to Nathan, whether it's all right, whatever, it's close. Yeah. So he says no. And to go as a sister,
Right.
husband and wife, and they wanted to adopt
Right,
me.
they didn't, that was no good either.
No good either.
Right.
So I waited until they,
Until, now, what were you going to do? Do you remember? Were you going to go to, you weren't going to go to Cuba? You were just stranded in Warsaw? I mean, you didn't know they were going to change the quota.
you think I know, I remember that.
Well, try.
You know, you struggle.
Where did you stay in Warsaw?
A nice street.
Yeah.
There were a lot of.
Do you remember the house? When it played in
No,
the streets?
don't do that.
What did you do every day in Warsaw? You went to the Hayas?
I was going to the Hayas a lot.
Uh-huh.
I know you kill time.
What else did you do?
Nothing really. I don't know.
Ah, you do know.
You worry a lot,
You did. You worried a lot?
and listen, you
Did you
survive.
read? Did you?
I guess so.
Were you studying?
What will I study?
I don't know. Did you make friends there?
Well, we were friends in the house.
Do you remember people there?
You know, even if you remember, when you go away, this one goes here, this one there.
What, everybody changed so quickly?
If you go to one city, there were people that were going all over, who knows.
So how long were you in Warsaw?
No, I don't remember how long.
Well, how
nine,
long?
9 months at least.
Okay, so wait, let's start again. You were in Abakov. You went to visit your friend in...
Would you say a Bochum?
Yeah, start early. You went from Abakov?
No, a Bochum. My mother was alive.
Right. Then you went to
So I
Kiev
went to Kiev
to visit
to
your
visit my aunt.
aunt, and then there was a
their
pogrom,
children.
and she
And
came.
then the pogrom, and they were chased out of
Right, so
Bochum,
you-
and they
and you-
came to Kiev.
Right, then your mother died.
Then we came to my uncle. He gave us a room there,
Right,
and we lived there. It was too crowded.
right.
Then my mother went to visit a cousin of hers. She had to bring them food,
Right,
and it just happened
right,
that
she got
they had the
typhoid. Okay.
typhoid.
Then she died.
She died a week later.
Right,
And then first we moved out because my mother was the main cheese to go, and we
right.
took away people.
Uh-huh.
So then they took away, we went to the, we got an apartment,
Right.
and we lived in an
Okay,
apartment.
then she died.
Then when my mother died,
Mm-hmm.
we took an apartment. We were able, a lousy apartment, but we took it.
Okay,
And from there I went,
right. Now,
The woman-
how long did you stay in Kiev before you left for, how long were you in Kiev? About
about 4 years, I think.
4 years about. So you were about 12 years old when you got there. About 1912.
Something like that.
Till about 1916. So you roughly started coming to the United States in 1916. You left Kiev to go towards Warsaw in about 1916. You were about 4
Well,
years.
it didn't take me long, the trip,
Right.
but just the waiting.
Okay, so in Kiev, you left there roughly in 1916. You said it was warm, it was hot out. Remember you said it was very hot the night that you traveled.
Wait a minute. There was a typhoid fever in 1920, I think.
1920. Is that when your mother died?
I think so.
So then how old were you when you left Abakov?
It was a big girl.
About how old?
Who knows the age?
Well, think
No.
about it. Were you done with school? How old were you when you went to see your aunt?
I must have been 13 or so.
13. So then you were in Kiev
13 or
for
14,
6 or 7 years.
Well, we were in, and then my mother came there. And then my mother got sick and she died.
She died. Right. How long between the time that you got to Kiev? How long was your mother with you before she died? She left when there was a pogrom. She got there.
Yeah.
You had been there, you said, a few months.
No, maybe a year.
You were there. You hadn't seen your mother in a year.
I don't remember, honestly.
Okay, some time, a year,
I
let's say.
don't know.
And then, so that was, you were roughly 13 or 14. Then you got to Kiev. Then she got there.
Yeah, she was there.
For how long? About? What was she doing?
Well, she died 19.
Before? What year did she die?
Do you know when it was an epidemic
No.
in America? Because
No, because it was the same time. All right. So she died when there was a typhoid epidemic. So she had been there for more than some number of years. You lived in your aunt's house,
Yes.
in your uncle's house. Okay, a few years. Then she died, and then you started to try to get to the United States
Yeah.
as soon as she died. And then how long was it after she died that you left to go to Warsaw? She died. How long did you wait until you left with this man you were communicating with, Nathan?
When did I come to America?
You told me. When did you land in Ellis
I came
Island?
to America 1923,
Okay, so you were about 23 years old.
24 or 23.
And how long did it take you to get here?
Well, when I came to America,
How long was the whole trip?
you think I counted?
Yeah, you counted. You'll figure it out. How long did you spend in Warsaw? You said, how long? 9 months?
At least.
Okay, so let's say 9 months. And how long did it take you to get from Warsaw to the United States?
Well, from Warsaw, we went to Cherbourg.
Okay, well, you'll tell me all that stuff, Shel.
No, we went by train.
Okay.
Train.
We'll do that. We'll tell. So you went from where? From Warsaw to where?
From Warsaw to
Shel.
Cherbourg.
To what?
Cherbourg.
Where's that? What country is that?
That's French. In France.
Okay, Sherburne? Okay, and then from there you went to where?
We went to Cherbourg. That's Cherbourg is in France.
Uh-huh, and then you went from there to
Then
where?
Cherbourg, we stayed. I went with a mother and daughter,
Uh-huh,
and they were nice people, and I stayed with them.
uh-huh.
And when I came to America, they lived in New York. I went once to New York.
All right, so how long did the boat ride take? Did you leave, where did you leave from in Europe?
From Cherbourg
And you left from Sherburne to New York.
to New York, 10 days.
10 days on the boat? Okay, so the
And I
10,
was sick all those 10 days.
you'll tell me about that in a minute. So you spent 10 days on the boat. How long did it take from Warsaw to Sherburne?
Maybe a night.
Okay,
I don't remember.
so that's one night. It took 10 days. So it's about 2 weeks. And then you're in Warsaw about 9 months, right?
Maybe.
So it's about 10 months. And then how long from Kiev to Warsaw? Did it take only a few days, right? Oh no, you stayed in what's the,
Where? I was born in Abukhov.
I know, but you went from, I'm trying to figure out how long you were in Kiev.
Well, in Kiev.
Many
I
years.
suffered all those years in Kiev
Why?
because they
Your mother
came.
died.
They came from a pogrom.
From
In
your
the-
mother. Uh-huh.
No, the first was a pogrom. They ran away,
Right, your mother.
and when they came, my mother and
And her husband.
that's right. And then they came to Kiev. We had to go to stay. There was no room where to park ourselves.
Right,
So we parked by my uncle,
right.
and we stayed there
Right.
until she got sick,
Uh-huh.
typhoid fever. She was sick one
Right.
week and she died.
Right.
And then we stayed a while, and then we moved out.
Uh-huh.
So my
Stepfather.
stepfather and his son
Uh-huh.
and I think there was another girl there.
Who was the
And
girl?
anyway.
Who was the girl?
I think it was his another daughter. She wasn't a silver. And anyway,
What was your stepbrother name? You know?
stepbrother, I think Avram, this was it.
Okay. And Did he like you? You said he wanted to get married. They wanted you to marry him?
No, the uncle probably would want me to marry him, but I was far to marry him.
How come you didn't want to get married?
I wouldn't go married to him.
Yeah.
And then I...
You didn't like him?
No, you liked him like a, you know what they say, a stew breeder. Weißt du, was ist a stew breeder?
No, what's that?
Like you're married to somebody and they have a child.
Right.
And you have a child and they have a child.
Uh-huh.
So they become,
Like brothers.
yeah, something like a,
Someone you cared for.
you care for a man, you care for your a brother.
Right.
But it's a stew brother, that means it's a second.
Right. But it wasn't romantic.
No.
Okay. So then you got to...
Then
So wait, so we still don't know how long it took all this. We're trying to figure out how long it took.
to me it took a lifetime.
Well, why did it take a lifetime?
Because I suffered all this time. No matter where I was, I suffered. And I had to decide what to do for myself.
Do you think it helped you at all? It made you stronger, more independent?
I don't know.
Well, you had to make decisions on your own, right?
Well, you make decisions.
Important
Sometimes you make decisions to make. You don't have to be a...
What?
you know, to make a decision, you don't know, sometimes you could be the smartest man, the smartest person, and make a bad decision.
Why, you think you made a bad decision?
No, I'm just saying,
Were you sad to leave Russia?
I was glad to get away,
Why?
because I had nothing there. My mother, my father, who would I have, my family.
Who did you leave behind?
Nobody. Uncles and aunts, which do they amount to anything?
Well, you left your stepfather, right?
So my stepfather, so he was still a stepfather. It didn't bother. The stepfather, my brother, were more important to me than a stepfather.
Uh-huh. Your brother was.
All my brothers,
Yeah,
they were all here.
so let's, again, I want to figure this out. So you went to Kiev, you stayed there a few years, 5 or 6 years, whatever. And then you left and went to Warsaw. Through, what was the town called? Roma, in Poland, where you stayed for
Rovno.
Rubno. You stayed there for a few weeks, and then you went to Warsaw.
A few months.
A few months in Warsaw. And then you stayed 9 months or 10 months or whatever in Poland, and then
Poland.
2 weeks to get back to the United States. So it was over a year that it took you to get here.
More than a year.
More than a year. Okay.
Not of my fault.
Who's blaming you?
No,
No.
I'm just saying.
No, it's not like you got lost. Your fault. And then, so what did you stayed in Warsaw the whole time?
From Warsaw,
Were you excited to leave Warsaw?
what do you say? I was glad to come to America. And I came to America, so I came to my brother Nathan.
Right?
And my brother Nathan had 3 boys and 1 baby.
Okay, wait, we'll get there in a second. So you got, now, what did you do when you left Warsaw? How did you leave Warsaw?
From Warsaw, we took a train.
How did you know what day you were leaving? How did you know?
We were told probably, listen, after all, we weren't dummies.
Wait,
My date was to go tomorrow to Yehupitz.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't I know it?
Yeah.
You have to go tomorrow to whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I guess it's still working.
Yeah.
And we were talking nonsense.
No. Don't worry. All this gets cut out. You'll see the final thing. I'll show it to you.
So what else?
So wait, still trying to figure this all out. So you went from, there were 2 separate groups. There was the Hayas, and there was the man who gave you the passport, who gave you the visa to Cuba and then the United States.
Yeah,
Through the senator.
not to the senator, I don't know what he did. The only thing, what I gave him the letter from somebody, that I suppose they knew one another. So he wrote back that I had to go to America more than 13 months.
Uh-huh.
So he cut it down to 13 months. So by the time it came to 13 months, it came to the...
So you went, so did you stay 13 months in Warsaw?
I had to stay.
Did you stay 13 months though? If that's how long it was?
It was maybe more, I don't remember. Listen, I wasn't the only one.
I know, but I want to know your story.
I stayed there. You live there, you stay, you go, you. But at least I know that I'm going to America.
Uh-huh. So you knew for a long time you were going to go.
I knew that I'm going to
You
America.
just had to wait your turn.
My turn, whenever.
And then your turn came up, and how did you commute? How did you get to France?
Well, we went by boat.
By boat.
Yeah,
To France? No, not to France.
to Sherbrooke's friends.
You went by boat?
No, I think we went for, in France, you have to go to the large ship. You have to go through a water. I think so. From Sherbrooke.
Yeah, I'm looking at a map.
From Sherbrooke to,
Sherbrooke. Wait, you had to get from Warsaw to France.
yeah,
How did you get there?
by train.
By train. Okay. Was it directly to Sherbrooke?
Yeah, I suppose it a couple of cities passed by, I don't know.
But you didn't have to get off the train
No.
until you got to the port, right? Near the boat. It was direct from
And
Warsaw.
when we came there, we were supposed to go, you know, they were supposed to go a boat
From where was the boat?
from Sherbrooke,
To the United States.
United States.
Okay, so you said it took maybe a few days, a couple of days, or a day, or
I
overnight.
think 10 days or 12 days.
No, well, from Warsaw to
Well,
France,
that is a short trip. You go by night.
it was a
at
few
night.
hundred miles.
At night you go trip.
But you had the right visa.
Yeah, then it changed to go to America.
It was changed in Warsaw,
Yeah.
right?